This video is for parents and caring adults who love and want what's best for the teens in their lives.
Do you ever feel frustrated or discouraged that you're not connecting with your teens in the ways that you would like? Sometimes it feels like you don't understand them, or they don't understand you. Maybe you worry about their faith, or maybe you feel like you just can't compete with all the pop culture, the teen culture, and the technology that continue to occupy their attention.
Now, because of the coronavirus, many parents and teens are stuck at home, spending much more time together than normal. This means being able to connect with teens is more important than ever, but in some ways, also harder than ever. According to Common Sense Media, the average teenager will spend about 9 hours a day with screen-based technology. Between social media apps like TikTok, Mixer, Discord, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitch, Marco Polo, and YouTube, video streaming services like Netflix, Hulu, and Amazon Prime, music streaming services like Apple Music and Spotify, video games like Call of Duty Warzone, Fortnite, Animal Crossing, Super Smash Bros., and Escape from Tarkov, there is now more competition for our time and attention than ever before.
We sent out a survey asking the question, are there areas you're just not connecting with your teen in the way you want to be connecting? And the answers that came back were overwhelmingly yes. And it's no wonder. Add to the tsunami of technology and pop culture, family schedules are already overflowing. Teens have homework, practice, youth group, and after a long day of work, many parents are wiped out. They're just praying for a moment of peace and not another argument about smartphones at the dinner table.
These are just a few of the barriers to the kind of connections parents are hoping to have. But now, imagine a new situation with me. Imagine that family conversation has become the highlight of everyone's day. Imagine sitting at the dining room table, your kids loving opening up to you about what's going on in their lives. And because you understand their world, you're able to ask exactly the right questions about things that matter to them. And they go to you for answers before they go to the internet. Instead of it being a time where you felt frustrated, unequipped, unsure, or like the bad guy, family conversation was transformed into a source of life for everyone.
Unfortunately, for many families, reality today looks a little bit more like this.
What?
Food's getting cold.
I like it cold. Huh?
I said one more week of 8th grade, right?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, huh?
Can't believe you're gonna be in high school.
Mm-hmm.
How did that happen?
I don't know.
You excited?
Yes.
If you've ever felt like this, the good news is you're not alone. We're Axis, and since 2007, we've helped hundreds of thousands of parents navigate conversation with their teens, and we've spoken with just as many students. For the past 12 years, we've been creating resources to help you bridge the gap between parents, caring adults, and the next generation. We're a group of gospel-minded researchers, speakers, and content creators, and we are excited to bring you the best of what we've learned about making meaningful connections with the teens in your life.
Dr. Timothy Keller, author of Reason for God, said, "I wish there were hundreds of groups like Axis. We are losing the next generation, and we need help from people like Axis to reach teenagers." So how do we do what we do? Our secret sauce is called culture translation. Culture translation involves understanding the world that someone lives in, as well as the language that they speak. In this free 3-part video series, The Path to Teen Connection, we're gonna help you understand the world of your teens so that you can pass on the legacy of the gospel.
We're gonna share with you how to build a team and a system for deeper connection with your teenagers. So let's start with some good news. Despite the ubiquity of pop culture, parents still have an incredible amount of influence on how their teens live. A survey from Power to Decide found that parents still have the biggest influence on teens' decisions about sex, more so than media, friends, or religious leaders.
Not only that, but research by Dr. Kara Powell and Dr. Meg Meeker show that your teens do want you to be a part of their lives, even when it seems like they don't. But they need you to speak their language in order to best connect. So you need the courage to step out there and the confidence to know that you can speak the language of your teens.
However, as parents, there are 3 major enemies that keep us from connecting with our teens. The first one is the time thief. Especially as your kids become teenagers, it feels like their time with you is being siphoned away. There's an invisible clock ticking down the moments you have left with your kids under your roof. Soon, they'll be out of the house and on their own.
Then there's the energy killer, and let's be honest. During the teen years, it seems like there's multiple holes in our energy bucket. Whether it's the struggle with busyness, the teens themselves, or just feeling old, it's happening for some reason. There's more and more to keep track of with less time and energy to do it.
Thirdly, there's the cloud of ignorance. As we've already said, it can be hard to even know where to begin when it comes to connecting with your teen. There is certainly work that you can do to know yourself, open your heart, and work to understand teen culture. But it can be incredibly difficult to sustain alone, which is why we believe that parents need a team to walk with them. A team will help you do 4 things: save time, maximize energy, and find answers when you need them. So that way you can focus on doing the one thing that only you can do. Have incredible moments with your teen.
Even though it might seem counterintuitive, we believe the best way for you to really connect with your teen's heart is to bring others around you. In her research project, Sticky Faith, Dr. Kara Powell found that one of the best predictors of a faith that would stick was that the rising generation had 5 older Christian mentors who were regularly investing in them. But not only that, your team can be comprised of parenting experts like Dr. Paul David Tripp, theology experts like Ravi Zacharias, and experts on issues like sexuality, such as Dr. Christopher Yuan. Relying on the legwork they've already done can help parents save time, maximize energy, and find answers so they can focus on having those incredible moments with their teens.
Of course, one thing we can't affect in all this is the will of God. None of us can guarantee lifelong faith and deep connection in our teens. That's really up to prayer and trusting God's providence in this matter. What we're showing you is a system that we've learned based on human behavior and incorporating theology. One of the things this system centers around is the art of conversation. So the question is, what does it take to have meaningful conversations with the teens in our lives?
First, it takes having the same vocabulary. Leslie Newbigin was a missionary to India in the 1930s. In his book, The Gospel in a Pluralist Society, he wrote, "If the gospel is to be understood, if it is to be received as something which communicates truth about the real human situation, it has to be communicated in the language of those to whom it is addressed, and has to be clothed in symbols which are meaningful to them." In the same way, parents have to understand the terms, concepts, and symbols their teens are using if they're going to have meaningful conversations with them about those things.
Next, meaningful conversation takes time. As Simone Weil once said, attention is the rarest and purest form of generosity. We all long to know that someone is paying attention to us, but we live in an age where distraction is the norm. Child psychologists regularly emphasize that when a kid acts out, it's because they are not getting the attention they crave. We are made to crave attention. From our parents, our friends, our romantic interests, and of course, from God himself.
David Augsburger once said that being heard is so close to being loved that for the average person, they are nearly indistinguishable. People want to know that their perspective matters, and teens are no exception. Many parents are doing all they can to spark conversation, but it just isn't working. But there is an art to asking questions.
One thing to just check real quick as a parent is if you're getting lame answers, you're probably asking lame questions. Like I would go into a fundraising or a sales thing without questions prepared. Why would you go to the dinner table with the same? Because you're going to default to the same dumb question you've been asking for 20 years.
And again, asking questions about the things that matter to the next generation is how we get beyond one-word responses. The Gospels record Jesus asking 307 different questions about a whole range of issues. He's asked 183 questions by different people, but he only answers 3 of them directly. Now, if anyone would have been in the position to offer definitive answers to people's questions, it would have been Jesus. But he often saw it as more important to turn others' questions back around to get them to re-examine the ideas that were already floating around in their minds.
In her book, Reclaiming Conversation, Sherry Turkle writes, "Young people have grown up in a world of search. and information is the endpoint of search. They have been taught that information is the key to making things better. In fact, to making everything better. Family conversation teaches another message. Talking to your parents doesn't just offer up information. You experience the commitment of a lifelong relationship. A parent may have no immediate solution for you, but may simply say, no matter what, I will always love you. And I'm staying around for another conversation. We'll keep talking this out. This last message is what a child wants to hear, no matter what the circumstances.
It's hard to hear the word search and not think of Google, but Psalm 139 models a totally different kind of search. It starts with the phrase, "You have searched me, Lord, and you know me." And it ends with the invitation, again, to search me, Lord, and know my heart. The scriptures model a kind of relationship for us where we search for each other more than for information, where we search for the heart of our teens so we can invite them along on the search for the heart of God.
Imagine with us a future date. Your kids are 20-somethings and they're calling home asking for advice on some significant issue because you've built trust. They actually want to bring their kids over to your house, and they're asking you to help disciple your grandkids. And all of this because you were able to lay a foundation of connection when they were still at home. That would be amazing, wouldn't it?
We spent the past year creating an assessment toward that goal to help parents identify strengths, weaknesses, and blind spots. It's 24 questions. It will take 10 minutes or less, and it will help you discover the best way to leverage your strengths as a parent and how to grow as you invest in the heart of your kids.
We'd love to ask you to take this assessment, and in the comments section below, share one takeaway with our community. Then, in the next video, we'll start to unpack what those results mean for you. Also, please take a minute to share this video with anyone who could benefit. Parenting teens is hard enough, and there's no reason to do it alone.